Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And if you're listening in the podcast, thank you so much for being here. It's Wednesday, July 26, 2023. Um, I am so upset right now. I just finished watching a video of a dog attack, right? Um, a dog attacking a person who was complying with police, okay? In case you haven't heard last probably my last three episodes, I think we can say I have been speaking about how these days it seems as though a lot of people are just working just for a paycheck. And I think I mentioned that one of my biggest pet peeve is when you're helping somebody learn something, right? Or train them on something, they tend to always say like they get it and they're like, yeah, I got it. I know what I'm doing, I got it. And then when it's their turn to do the real thing, they have no idea what to do. It is so sad because a lot of these people with that type of mentality, they go out there, they get into this jobs, that a lot of the times they put other people's life in danger. For example, people who work in nursing homes, right? um, I think a lot of the CNAs and a lot of the support staff at nursing homes, from my experience, I think they need more training and they need to have to be more supervised. Okay. The same thing goes, I think I mentioned people who work in restaurants, you order your food, you pick it up, and you go to the window, they have like all these young people on their cell phones, right? Because everybody owns a multi-million dollar company that everybody has to be on cell phones, right? Just checking, replying to messages, checking meetings and email constantly, right? We're always on our cell phones and we cannot even pay attention to the job that we're doing, right? So you order food and you get home and they get your order wrong or they miss to put the sauce or anything, right? And it's so sad because it keeps happening on and on. We're so distracted. We don't pay attention. We want to get a job just to earn a paycheck, but at the same time, like if it happens, like at a restaurant, okay, they forgot to put. You go to the drive-through, they forgot to put the sauce. You get over, right, with life, right? But when it happens that you put somebody in their life or somebody in danger, that's when we have a problem, right? So this story that I'm about to say to you guys, what happened 2 days ago in Ohio, it is crazy. It is crazy that once again we have so many officers involved in this stopping this driver, and then they're chasing this guy who's driving a semi truck, I believe, right? A semi truck driver. They're chasing him. He finally stops, right? He comes out of the truck, okay, and he is complying with the officers, okay? Put your hands on your back, um, and just there's a video, right? Everything is being videotaped these days, so and the whole officers have their cameras on. So the guy comes out, the driver comes out, he's complying, but apparently they had a K9 unit on site, and you can hear, I don't know how many officers were there. I think it was maybe five of them, and one of them is saying, do not release the dog, okay? I'm gonna describe to you what happened as best as I can, because I tell you the video is very disturbing. It's not for everybody to see, right? Like I said, I just got so upset watching that because we somehow, obviously not everybody, we have lost the compassion for human life, right? This guy that they stopped, right? He's not coming out of the truck um shooting at anybody, right? He's not coming out waving a knife. He's not coming out um he's not coming out like training or going back and forth and running and all of that. He is complying with police. If you see he's complying, the person holding the dog, right, the canine unit expert officer, who we assume went through a lot of training to have such a responsibility, because these dogs that are hired, I guess you can say, to work at the canine unit and to help police officers, they go to very extensive training themselves, right? They train these dogs to basically attack the person, right? Immediately. So I'm assuming whoever is being, allowed to be basically managing the dog in this type of situation has gone through even more extensive training, because you gotta watch yourself, right? You don't want any accidents to happen. It could be the dog is probably not running to the correct person, right? Somebody, a bystander, or like anything, right? A kid or somebody, anybody, anything could happen. Once again, people tend to forget that dogs are just animals, okay? No matter how much you train them, they still have this animal nature, okay? So this guy, the canine unit officer, sees the men complying. You have five other officers on the side telling the suspect, okay, get on your knees or something like that. And the guy is complying. Why is the canine officer getting closer and closer to the event, I guess you can say, to the suspect? When you have a dog that you just say, you point to him as something, he's going to jump at it and basically attack that person in an instant. You should be like, the dog should be the last resource, okay, in the situation, specifically when you see the guy unarmed, number one, right? Like I said, he's not waving a firearm, he's not waving a knife, he's not coming out shooting out of the truck, shooting, nothing like that, right? I think you call a canine unit not only to investigate like a dead person, right? That's what we see, or you if a suspect is running, that's when they release dogs, right? That's what we are. That's what the normal thing that we have seen, right? I have no police training, nothing like that. But when there is a suspect who's running through neighborhoods, right? Let's just say somebody who robbed a bank and he's running through neighborhoods, and you release the dogs, right? Or you I seen the police officers running with the dog, right? That's what we see when they bring out the footage. They're running with the dogs trying to find the scent of the person. The canine unit is basically there, and the suspect is right within feet of him, and the guy is complying. So a normal person, and I know everybody makes mistakes, but when you go to such an intensive training and you know what this dog is capable of doing, and you know what this dog was trained to do, right? The dog is doing his job. This is what he was trained to do. You say, well, I'm holding a killer dog in my hand right now, that if I say go, he's going to basically kill this guy. The guy is complying. My other co-workers are basically, getting hold of the situation right now. The guy already came out of the truck. He's complying. He has his hands up. Maybe I should just freeze in position right now and just weigh into everything into the guys in handcuffs. But no, we're not thinking like that, right? We're not thinking like that. We're so excited of the situation. Then apparently you hear somebody, right? You hear in the video, the camera footage, you hear one of the officers say, do not release the dog. The guy, your co-worker is saying, don't release the dog. Don't release the dog. And the dog was released, because we're not paying attention these days, okay? The dog was released and attacked the guy. And it is such a hard thing to see. And I understand people, well, he was running from the police. Yes. But once again, okay, there are things that you use. If you have the guy out there, they call K9, okay, whatever. Let's just say they call K9. K9 is responding to the call. But K9 unit shows up to the situation and says, hey, let me just freeze in position here, hold the dog tightly, because it looks to me like this situation is coming to an end. They got the guy is complying, they're about to put handcuffs on him. Maybe the canine, okay, they call us, but they're now, they don't really need us at this moment. We'll just sit tight into the situation is handled. But no, right? No, he released the dog. The suspect was attacked and also handcuffed. That's the thing that I don't get. Um, and he's yelling. get him out of him, out of me. And the guys, I guess the officers, struggle with to get the dog out. The dog is like, you trained me for this, and now you're telling me no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is why when you're handling a dog that's being trained to do something like that, you better, man, you don't just give a dog like that to anybody. You better make sure you're giving it to somebody who has gone to extensive training. Like, I don't understand what is happening these days. And once again, everybody's like, yeah, I got it. No, like, nobody wants to, like, ask questions and say, yeah. And it's just, when you're put in a position that your job can, what you do can affect the lives of others, you better make sure you, like, being, more attentive in your training, right? Because the thing is, like, that can happen to anybody, even one of your family members, and then, then there will be a problem. Like, I don't understand what people are thinking these days. You show up, they call the kennel unit, you show up, it looks like the guy is complying. He's not running away in the highway. He's not wielding a weapon around the highway. He's complying with your co-workers. Why are you releasing the dog for? Is that not common sense anymore? I don't understand what's going on, to be honest. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And people are always like, the thing with dogs, right? I gotta tell you, I'm not comfortable around dogs, right? I used to be around dogs when I was younger. I used to be very comfortable. I had dogs in my house. One day I went to visit somebody when I was younger, and it was a big house. I didn't know the house, but they said to me, don't go to the backyard, right? Because the dog is back there, this and the other, and she just giving birth, whatever, right? And I was young. We were running around. Right? I was playing with my cousin, so we were running around. And the huge house, I got lost getting my way back, right? And I'm like, I don't want to go to the backyard because they already told me not to do that. But I don't know, like, I don't want to go the other way either. So I'm like, maybe if I go fast enough, the dog won't see me, right? Of course, they notice movement, and that dog came in straight and bit me in my leg, right? And what came after that, because that's the thing, when people are, I'm not trying to bash anybody, right? I think I've seen so many cute dogs and some beautiful big dogs and all of that. But a lot of the time, when a dog attacks somebody, this is what people say: well, we told you not to go around there. Like, and then you feel so bad, but you're hurting, right? I just got bitten by a dog and now I'm being blamed for it. Like, it's so weird. The same thing, you see people, you know, and they say, you see them in court, and they're like, oh yeah, my dog got loose and attacked the neighbor. Or they say, well, the neighbor was trying to call out my dog. Um, Dogs, that's what they do. They bite, they attack other people, and people always say, you say to people, I'm going to their house. I don't feel comfortable around dogs. My dog is not like that. Okay, I don't feel comfortable around dogs. Can that be understood and respected? No, it's always the other person. You get bitten by a dog, it's your fault. You ask them not to put them away. If you're gonna visit, then you're the problem, right? People don't respect that. And like I said, I've been around dogs when I was younger and all of that. But this fear came after being bitten, right? And then when that happened, I was being blamed for it. And it's like, I was so young. I don't even know how old I was. I think I was under 10. And just thinking the time that we came to this country, I'm like, even so, it's like, no, you have a killer dog back there who doesn't like people going into the back, right? So don't blame me so much because of that, right? Understand that your dog tends to bite, and that's the situation. You need to be careful with that, right? But going back to this thing, right? Um, It is so sad to see that this young man got bitten in front of all these people, and it was a very terrible attack. After watching the video, okay, when you see, wait, excuse me, when you hear some of the workers say, some of the fellow police officers say, do not release the dog, right? Well, I was called here, so I'm gonna do what I came to do. Like, yeah, the situation changes, right? Is that not normal to people? You arrive to a scene. You see the guy complying. The situation has been de-escalated, so you stay put, right? Because you have the last resource there, which is the dog. Your dog, the canine unit is probably the last resource, right? Before it gets like completely violent, right? So you stand there, you stay there put, you don't do anything, but you gotta release the dog to this man who is already complying to the officers. Okay. And then you see the face in one of the officers. I think it was a female officer. You see her on the video with her hand over her mouth, going like, "Oh my goodness, what just happened?" Like it was really bad for her to see that, because it was a really bad attack that happened. And regardless, like I said, this man was not waving a weapon. He didn't just kill 10 people. He didn't just like. Let me tell you exactly why he was being chased. Right, an investigation is underway into why a police dog was deployed to attack a semi truck driver who appeared in body camera footage to be complying with orders to get on his knees and keep his hands in the air, after allegedly leading officers from several law enforcement agencies on a highway chase. The incident occurred on July 4th. Oh, actually happened, beginning of the month. On July 4th, on US Route 23 near Circleville, Ohio, about 28 miles south of Columbus, but police body camera footage of the arrest of 23-year-old Jadarius Rose was not released to the public until Friday. The body camera video shows the German Shepherd Canine, a member of the Circleville, Ohio Police Department, arriving at the scene and initially being held back by its handlers as troopers yelled to Ross, "Get on the ground or you're going to get bit." Um, the footage shows Ross complying with orders to get on his knees with both hands in the air. A police trooper can be heard in the video repeatedly yelling, "Do not release the dog," with his hands up. The dog, however, was let loose and attacked Rose, grabbing his arm as he screamed, "Get it off," and appeared to be in pain. Officers, including the dog handler, rushed to Rosa. He was being attacked in the grassy center median and pulled the animal off Rosa, according to the video. As troopers were attempting to gain compliance by providing verbal commands to the suspect, the Circleville Police Department deployed the canine, which resulted in the suspect being bitten by the canine, the Ohio State Highway Police said in a statement. Ross was taken into custody, and troopers immediately performed first aid on him as they waited for paramedics to arrive, according to the statement. Ross was treated at the hospital and released into custody of the State Highway Police. He was booked at the Ross County Jail on charges of failure to comply, according to the police. In failure to comply. Okay. Um, it remained unclear Sunday why Ross denied immediately pulled over when troopers initially ordered him to. The police department said they are conducting an investigation. The State Highway Police K9 officer who was handling the German Shepherd during Ross' arrest um, will not say if this Spickman has or will be placed on leave during the investigation. So there is actually an update about this case. He actually was placed on leave. The handler, I just had it. Give me 1 second. Um, Ohio officer fired after letting his police dog attack a surrendering truck driver. So the guy was fired. The officer was fired because he released the dog that attacked this guy who was unarmed, complying with police. Okay, I am glad. I don't want anybody to be fired, nothing like that. But when you're in a job, right? When you have you can endanger the lives of other people, you have to face the consequences. This should have never happened. Okay, it should have never happened. I don't know why I'm thinking about her, but Sandra Bland, right? We all know what happened with her. That video of Sandra Bland will never be erased from my memory. It could have been handled so much better. But then we have this idea, I'm not every officer is like that, right? You obviously see it in this case. One of the officers, she couldn't believe what was happening to this guy, and one of them saying, do not release the dog because the guy is complying. And it's like, then you have this other type of officers who have basically, a lot of the times, it's the saddest thing to say, but they have like no regards for human life. They want to follow through with the training, even though, like I said, the canine unit should have been one of the last resource that they could have used. And then they're gonna say, well, I'm doing what I was told. They called me here, so I'm just following along. But I'm sure they get trained to know when the situation changes, then you hold back, right? There's a, I mean, I'm sure that guy was scared to get bitten. They're telling him you're gonna get bitten, and he's complying. So don't release the dog, right? It's okay to the dog to be used just to scare him. Like that should have been okay too, but no, we have to follow through the whole thing, even though this guy is complying. And the reason that I say about Sandra Bland is because that incident that happened with Sandra Bland, she, the guy is telling her, stop smoking, put your phone down. It's like she is recording what's happening to her. And okay, people are saying like, oh, she should have put her stop smoking or something, but you can see it in the video clearly about Sandra Bland. You can see it in the video where she's moving because he's telling her stand over here, and then he moved her to the other side, and she's like, and he's yelling at her, don't move, and she's like, you're the one who told me to move over here. And then that creates the, what do you call that, the non-compliance, and what, she wasn't complying. She is following what you're saying to her to do. I don't understand, man, seriously. Compassion, like, it's fading away from people's minds these days. I don't understand what's going on. And the Sandra Bland incident happened a couple years back already. It's just so unfortunate, right? It's so unfortunate. So this police officer was fired, the one who released the dog, and I hope he never gets to be in this type of position that he can, he obviously cannot handle tight situations. That shows he's not supposed to be handling the canine. That's not, he's in the wrong job, right? Because, like I said, canines are usually the last resort. So when they're the last resort, that means the situation is very bad at the moment. So if you cannot handle a bad situation like that you're like, oh, I'll release everything, I'll start shooting, whatever, like, then you're in the wrong job. And I'm glad he got fired. He's definitely in the wrong job. Let me know what you guys think about this. It's, like I said, you can go ahead and research. You can see the video. I warn you, it's very graphic. It's hard to watch something like that. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel, listening in the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.